Ready. And action. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Oh, hello there. Hello there. Good friends, Sisseton, Wahpeton College here in beautiful, lovely downtown Agency Village, South Dakota. It's time for some more book unboxings. Right on. First things first, I gotta move closer to the camera so you can see me. There we go. That's a little bit better. Wow, I don't know. Maybe you guys think I look terrible. Maybe I do look terrible. But I got a book and I want to share with you. Oh, goody, goody gumdrops. Where are my glasses? I got an Amazon package. What's in here? Yeah. John G. Neihardt, Black Elk Speaks. And Night of the Living Res again. Well, there's a reason why I reordered this. You see, it's because when I flew on the airplane last week, I left the book on the plane. Boy, I swear if my head weren't glued on, I'd leave that on the plane too. Never mind. I gotta put my glasses on so I can actually read with you guys. Hang on. Oh man, I got a big old gut. I need to lose more weight. Spend more time in the gym. Alright. This is an old classic. I believe it was published in the 70s. Let's see. John G. Neihardt, Black Elk Speaks. And I believe Neihardt himself is not actually native. But this book does figure prominently in native literature and references are made to it frequently. This book was originally published, no, can't be, 1863? No, 1932. It says here, by the University of Nebraska Press. And this version that I'm holding in my hands is a reprint that dates to the year 2004. There we go. And Black Elk himself lived from 1863 to 1950. So I'm going to skip all the forewords. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff in this book with photos and various plates and printings and stuff like that. Illustrations, that's the word I'm thinking of. Maps, which maybe you can or can't see. I'm going to skip Vine Deloria Jr. Man, he was grouchy. Never mind. I met him and he was grouchy. It's probably because I'm such a nerd and it's not really his fault. Because if you know anything about fans and stuff like that, and you're a busy person, and some fan comes up to you with stars in his eyes, like, oh, Mr. Deloria, Professor Deloria, I've always admired your work. I said, go away, kid, you bother me. That's probably what was going on, because, you get starstruck. That's the word I'm thinking of. I was probably starstruck, and I probably told him how back in the day, going to St. Philomena Elementary School, a Catholic school, and being told that our people are a bunch of savages who worship sticks and rocks and trees and owls and eagles. And suddenly you go into the school library and the one lone lay native teacher, I believe she's Chumash herself, sneaked in a textbook entitled God is Red. Sneaked it in there, and knowing that there are a couple of native students in the school, the teacher herself being native, and she knew that the nuns were telling us we were a bunch of useless savages, so she sneaked the book on the bookshelf, and a couple of us Indian kids, we picked up, oh, God is Red, and we picked it up and we read it. and we just blew our minds. And so when I grew up and I was in grad school at University of South Dakota doing my PhD or wherever, I don't remember where I was, but I finally run into Vine Deloria Jr. and I just, and he probably, get out of here, kid. You're annoying. So never mind. We got to get back to the book. So, offering of the pipe. Ready? Here we go. Black Elk Speaks. My friend, I am going to tell you the story of my life as you wish. And if it were the only story of my life, I think I would not tell it. For what is one man that he should make much of his winters, even when they bend him like a heavy snow? So many other men have lived and shall live that story to be grasped upon the hills. It is the story of all life that is holy and is good to tell, and of us two-leggeds sharing in it with the four-leggeds and the wings of the air and all green things. For these are children of one another, and their Father is one Spirit. This, then, is not the tale of a great hunter, or of a great warrior, or of a great traveler, although I have made much meat in my time and fought for my people both as a boy and man, and have gone far and seen strange lands and men. So also have many others done, better than I. These things I shall remember by the way, and often they may seem to be the very tale itself, as when I was living with them in happiness and sorrow. But now that I can see it all as from a lonely hilltop, I know it was the story of a mighty vision given to a man too weak to use it, of a holy tree that should have flourished in a people's heart with flowers and singing birds, and now is withered, and of a people's dream that died in bloody snow. But if the vision was true and mighty, as I know, it is true and mighty yet, for such things are of the Spirit, and it is in the darkness of their eyes that men get lost. So I know that it is a good thing that I'm going to do, and because no good thing can be done by any man alone, I will first make an offering and send a voice to the Spirit of the world, that it may help me to be true. See, I fill the sacred pipe with the bark of the red willow. But before we smoke it, you must see how it is made and what it means. These four ribbons hanging here on the stem are the four quarters of the universe. The black one is for the west, where the thunder beings live, to send us rain, and the white one for the north, whence comes the great white cleansing wind. The red one for the east, whence springs the light, and where the morning star lives to give men wisdom. The yellow for the south, whence comes the summer and the power to grow. But these four spirits are only one spirit after all, and this eagle feather here is for that one, which is like a father, and also it is for the thoughts of men that should rise high as eagles do. Is not the sky a father and the earth a mother? And are not all living things with feet or wings or roots their children? And this hide upon the mouthpiece here, which should be bison hide, is for the earth, from whence we came, and at whose breast we suck as babies all our lives, along with all the animals and birds and trees and grasses. And because it means all this and more than any man can understand, this pipe is holy. There is a story about the way the pipe first came to us. A very long time ago, they say, two scouts were out looking for bison. And when they came to the top of a high hill and looked north, they saw something coming a long way off. And when it came closer, they cried out, "It is a woman!" And it was. Then one of the scouts, being foolish, had bad thoughts and spoke them. But the other said, "This is a sacred woman. Throw all bad thoughts away." When she came closer still, they saw that she wore a fine white buckskin dress, and that her hair was very long, and she was young and very beautiful. And she knew their thoughts, and she said in a voice that was like singing, "You do not know me, but if you want to do as you think, you may come." And the foolish one went, but just as he stood before her, there was a white cloud that came and covered them. And the beautiful young woman came out of the cloud. And when it blew away, the foolish man was a skeleton covered with worms. Then the woman spoke to the one who was not foolish. "You shall go home and tell your people that I am coming, and that a big teepee shall be built for me in the center of the nation." And the man, who was very much afraid, went quickly and told the people, who did at once as they were told. And there around the big teepee they waited for the sacred woman. And after a while she came, very beautiful and singing. And as she went into the teepee, this is what she sang. "With visible breath I am walking, a voice I am sending as I walk. In a sacred manner I am walking. What visible tracks I am walking. In a sacred manner I walk." And as she sang, there came from her mouth a white cloud that was good to smell. Then she gave something to the chief, and it was a pipe with a bison calf carved on one side to mean the earth that bears and feeds us, and with 12 eagle feathers hanging from the stem to mean the sky and the 12 moons. And these were tied with a grass that never breaks. "Behold," she said, "with this you shall multiply and be a good nation. Nothing but good shall come of it. Only the hands of the good shall take care of it, and the bad shall not even see it." Then she sang again and went out of the teepee, and as the people watched her going, suddenly it was a white bison galloping away and snorting, and soon it was gone. This they tell, and whether it happened so or not, I do not know. But if you think about it, you can see that it is true. Now I light the pipe, and after I have offered it to the powers that are one power, and sent forth a voice to them, we shall smoke together. Offering the mouthpiece first of all, the one above, so I send a voice. "Hey, hey, 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 hey. The grandfather, great spirit, you have always been, and before me, before you, no one has been." Let me read that again. "Grandfather, great spirit, you have always been, and before you, no one has been. There is no other one to pray to but you. You yourself, everything that you see, everything has been made by you. The star nations all over the universe, you have finished. The 4 quarters of the earth, you have finished. The day, and in that day, everything you have finished. Grandfather, great spirit, lean close to the earth that you may hear the voice I send. You toward where the sun goes down, behold me. Thunder beings, behold me. You were the white giant. You, where the white giant lives in power, behold me. You where the sun shines continually, whence comes the daybreak, star and the day, behold me. You where the summer lives, behold me. You in the depths of the heavens, an eagle of power, behold, and you, Mother Earth, the only mother, you who have shown mercy to your children. Hear me, 4 quarters of the world, a relative I am. Give me the strength to walk the soft earth, a relative to all that is. Give me the eyes to see and the strength to understand, that I may be like you. With your power only I can face the winds. Great Spirit, my grandfather, all over the earth the faces of living things are all alike. With tenderness have these come up out of the ground. Look upon these faces of children without number, and with children in their arms, that they may face the winds and walk in the good road to the day of quiet. This is my prayer, hear me. The voice I have sent is weak, yet with earnestness I have sent it. Hear me, it is finished. Pechetu aloh. Now, my friend, let us smoke together, so that there may be only good between us. I'm going to stop it there. This is a nice book. Read it. And then he talks about his early boyhood in the next chapter. I just read an entire chapter, by the way. And I believe this is all written down, supposedly transcribed by this fellow named Neihardt. That is John G. Neihardt. And I believe John G. is not native himself. There's even these really awesome illustrations and winter count things and stuff like that. So if you haven't read this book yet, why not? I mean, this is part of local South Dakota culture and history. There's even a nice index in the back of the book. Before I lose this one, I should probably write my name on it, because you know how I get. Crazy old man, always forgetting stuff. All right. Man, I look old. All right, I'm going to stop it there. You guys are so awesome and so kind to stick with me as I read. That was something I was going to teach with regards to this book. I know I'm always questioning the idea of books about natives versus books by natives, and what is and what is not Native American literature. And I laid the question before you, as opposed to me telling you what to think. I want you to think about that on your own. Okay? Okay. Now, anything else I know I'm forgetting to tell you? We talked about characterization already. We talked about fiddlesticks, not tone, characterization and flat characters and sympathetic characters. I suppose we could say that Black Elk is probably a sympathetic character, because we can already feel for him just in that first paragraph, right? Yeah. Another word that's going to come up is the word trope, Trope. I'm not going to bother you with it today, but I just have to tell you that that word is coming up. If I remember right, just off the top of my head, because I'm tired and I've been driving big rigs all day, a trope is very similar to an archetype, but it can be more negative in that a trope is something that might be overused, that we all know. About as readers of literature. Something that keeps showing up over and over again until the point we get sick of it. It's very similar to a stereotype, but it's even wider and broader. Let me think of a really good trope in movies. A trope would be, well, here's a really irritating one for those of us who study Native American literature: the noble savage, or the howling savage, or Injun Joe in what was his name, Mark Twain's literature. He's a trope of a mean old bad Indian. Right? Okay, that's a good trope. I mean, a trope could be neutral and it could be positive, but a lot of times trope is used in a negative context, meaning that it's some kind of stereotypical overused symbol or motif that's used too much. So I'll give you those two words, motif and trope. I'll stick them up on our lesson plan with a more concrete definition. That's what I'm thinking of. All right, I've already spoken for 30 minutes. No, 25 minutes and 30 seconds. Stop it there. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Talk later. Bye bye.